Hello everyone, this is Chase Crispin, and today we're going to be going through powering your Braille Plus 18 on, putting it to sleep, and powering it completely off. When you first get your Braille Plus 18, it is going to be completely powered off to prevent the battery from draining while it's in the mail. Now your Braille Plus 18 may or may not be completely charged when you first get it, but to completely power on the Braille Plus from a complete power off, you'll want to hold down the power button on the left edge of the device. This button is flush with the surface of the Braille Plus 18 and it's pretty close to you, but you can still feel where the button is. You press this button in until the device vibrates, and then you can let up on the button. The Braille Plus 18 now shows Braille Plus 18 on its Braille display while it starts. The boot up procedure does take about 30 to 45 seconds, but you're not normally going to have the Braille Plus completely powered off. We are going to edit out some of the startup time to save time in this video. However, just know that your Braille Plus will take a little bit less than a minute to first turn on.
Braille Plus 13.05.22 Limited service. Battery 24%. Wi-Fi DC Crispin's network 44%. Phone 1 of 13.
We heard several things when the device first started up. We heard Braille Plus and then a few numbers. Those numbers are your software version or the update that your Braille Plus is running. From time to time, APH releases new updates that fix bugs and add new features, and when those updates come out, the version number that you just heard will change. So when you start your Braille Plus, you will most likely hear a different number than you just heard on mine, but you will hear a series of numbers after first boot up that indicate your software version. You then heard limited service, which indicates that I do not have a SIM card in my Braille Plus 18 that would let me use cell phone service. So limited service means I could place emergency telephone calls only. You then heard my battery status as a percentage, and then you heard Wi-Fi, the name of the network, and the signal strength. Now, when you first turn on your Braille Plus, you're not going to be connected to a Wi-Fi network, so you probably won't get this announcement, but after you connect to a Wi-Fi network, you will get those announcements. Finally, we heard Home, which indicates we're on the home screen, and we heard Phone 1 of 13, indicating that we're on Phone, the first of 13 items in the home screen list. Now normally, you're not going to want to have to wait that long for your Braille Plus 18 to turn on and off. To put the Braille Plus 18 into a sleep mode, you just tap the power button on the left side.
Screen off.
You hear screen off. Your Braille display goes blank, and your Braille Plus is in a sleeping state that uses much less battery. You can still receive calls and notifications, and your Braille Plus might still do things like check email and check for updates, but it's using a lot less battery than it normally would be using. If you're not using your Braille Plus, you'll want to tap the power button to put it to sleep, and know that after a couple of minutes the Braille Plus will automatically go into the sleep state and you will hear screen off. To wake the Braille Plus 18 up from its sleeping state, you just tap the power button again.
5:45.
You hear the current time, and the time is also shown on the Braille display.
Wi-Fi DC Crispin's network 53%. Wi-Fi DC Crispin's network 55%.
And we hear the Wi-Fi announcement indicating that we are, again, connected to a Wi-Fi network. The Braille Plus remembers where you last were on the system. So to resume using the Braille Plus 18, you can just press one of the arrow buttons. I'll just press the down arrow.
Email 2 of 13.
It says email 2 of 13, and that tells us we're still on the home screen, which is where we were before we put the Braille Plus to sleep. So if you were in the word processor writing a document and you woke the Braille Plus 18 up, you would still be in the same document. If you're reading a book, you would be in the same place in the book, etc. Now, there are times when you may not wish to have the Braille Plus 18 on. If you're going to be maybe traveling, or you're not going to be using the Braille Plus 18 for several days or weeks, you might want to shut the Braille Plus 18 completely down, just like it was at the beginning of this tutorial. To access a dialog where you can turn the device completely off, you can hold down the power button for a couple of seconds again.
Phone options alert. Silent mode sound is on. Silent mode sound is on. 1 of 4.
We have 4 options. The first option is sound, and it says silent mode sound is on. If you press the select key, which I will do now,
Home, email, 2 of 13.
we still hear speech, but all other system sounds will be muted. If we wanted to turn off speech, we could do that using the S chord or the Braille letter S with the spacebar, but this way you're not going to get little ding noises for new maybe text messages or emails or things like that while you're in a meeting or in class. To turn silent mode off and turn sound back on, you'll want to hold down the power button again.
Phone options alert. Silent mode sound is OFF. Silent mode sound is OFF. 1 of 4.
We hear that sound is off and silent mode is on. So if I wanted to turn my sound back on, you would just press select again.
Home, email, 2
We'll
of
return to the
13.
home screen, but I want to go back into the power off dialog again, so I'm holding down the power key.
Phone options alert. Silent mode sound is on. Silent mode sound is on. 1 of 4.
There are 3 other options in this dialog, so if I press the down arrow key,
Airplane mode is OFF. 2 of 4.
we hear airplane mode is off. This works the exact same way in terms of toggling on and off as the silent mode did, but airplane mode is going to disable any cell connections with a cell phone, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth so that your Braille Plus isn't sending or receiving any signals. You'll want to do this on an airplane if you want to save a lot of battery, or if you're in any other type of place that requires you to disable any type of electronic radios. So this works the same way as silent mode did, so I'm not going to demonstrate this. I'm going to press down arrow again.
Restart. 3 of 4.
We hear restart, and if we would press select here, which I'm not going to do, it would first shut the Braille Plus completely down, which takes about 5 seconds, and then it would begin the about 45-second process of turning it completely on that we did at the beginning of the video. So if you're having any sort of problem with your Braille Plus, you might first want to try to restart it by picking this option. This is just going to shut the Braille Plus completely down and then turn it back on. And if I down arrow one more time,
Power off. 4 of 4.
we hear power off 4 of 4, and this will just shut the Braille Plus down so that we could have it completely off, just like it is when you first get it and like it was at the beginning of this tutorial. These are the only 4 options in the power off dialog, so if I press the back key,
Home, email, 2 of 13.
we're returned to the home screen, and we're returned to the place where we last left off, which in this case is focused on email. Now, it is rare, but there are times when the Braille Plus 18 will completely hang, and you will have to completely shut off the device, even if you're not able to get to the power off setting that we just found. In this case, there is a forced power off command, which we can get to, again, with the power button on the left edge of the device. If I press and hold this for 10 seconds, we will eventually feel
Phone
a
options alert.
double vibration.
Power off. Power off. 4 of 4.
Which I just felt, and I'm going to let go of the button. So if you weren't able to find the power off setting, if your Braille Plus was locked up or something like that, you can hold the power button for about 10 seconds. The final thing to note is that there is a small hole to insert a paper clip on the left edge of the device that will allow you to reset the device if that is needed, but usually holding the power button down will be able to fix your problem. Normally, as I said, you will just put your Braille Plus 18 to sleep by pressing the power key, but if you do need to force it to shut down, restart, or just completely shut down, you now know how to complete those tasks as well. So that will conclude this tutorial on powering the Braille Plus 18 on and off. Thank you for watching, and we hope you found this useful.